Hey, thanks for joining us here on 9 News Watch, as well as on Facebook Live for a detailed look at your Colorado weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and I will step out of the way so you can take a look at those headlines. So for today, it's warm. You probably did not need me to tell you that, but there it is. It is warm. It stays cooler, or it gets a little cooler as we get into your day tomorrow. We'll get a weak front that drops way on through. It could lead to a few showers. I'll show you those in just a second. But then this weekend, ooh, that mercury is really going to rise. We're going to be talking about temperatures that could be approaching 90 degrees for your first full weekend of fall and the final weekend in the month of September. And if it's feeling a little late for us to be talking about temperatures that warm, you would be right. And in fact, it's a little late for us to be talking about temperatures this warm as well. Now, not nearly as unheard of. Our average high this time of year, about 77 degrees. So when we're talking about low to mid 80s, yeah, it's warmer than average, but we're running, again, 5 to 7 degrees above normal. Nothing too wild about that. In fact, look at that for you in Burlington, though. Close to 90 out there. Same for our friends in Ray. You get into the mountains, 60s and 70s, fairly widespread. Now, another thing that you got to keep an eye for, or you may have already noticed. Notice this a little bit, little hazy. That is wildfire smoke. There's a little bit of it kind of interspersed in our skies here in Colorado. And again, that is thanks to wildfire smoke from those fires out in California. That continues to gradually filter its way through our skies here in the Centennial State. So a closer look in here at Denver. We're getting a bit of a plume. Now, the air quality is not going to really be all that impacted. Air quality levels have generally been on the okay side throughout the day. We do not have an air quality advisory. So again, I don't want to mislead you and make you think that we're talking about what we saw throughout July and August. We all know what we saw in July and August. That was horrible, right? This is nothing close to that level, but there is going to be a little bit of smoke in the sky. And again, you might look off to the mountains and say, hey, it looks a little smoky. You would be right. So some of that smoke will be filtered into our skies. And for tomorrow, most of that smoke clears us along the urban corridor. You get into the mountains, other side of the Continental Divide, and that's where we're going to be seeing a little bit of that wildfire smoke, but same idea even there as well. Not really going to be impacting the air quality to the level of what we saw throughout July and August, and just very minimal impacts to that air quality. So long story short, you're going to see a little bit of smoke in the sky. Don't worry too much about it, at least in terms of air quality. Now, one thing to certainly keep an eye for are those forecast highs, where we're going to be in the 80s, even some low 90s along the eastern plains. Again, this is a map that we should be talking about maybe a month ago, but here we are, mid to late September. Once again, talking about 80s and 90s in the plains, 60s and 70s, and even some 80s popping on up in some of the lower elevations in the mountains. A little bit warmer than we were this time yesterday. Denver getting up to 80 already so far. Mountains a little bit warmer as well. Satellite and radar imagery, though, shows us our next very small weather maker. It is this little line of clouds, and if you are a bit of a weather buff, you might have thought to yourself, that's probably a cold front, and you would be right. There's our next front dropping its way through Utah and in northwestern Colorado. This is mainly a dry front, though. That means we're just not going to be talking about that much in the way of moisture accompanying it, but you get into the mountains. Denver, I'm pretty sure we stay dry here, but you get into the foothills and certainly on up by the Continental Divide on west. That's where you'll see a popcorn shower or two. South Park, so Park County, Fairplay could see a shower or two up along 285, and then you get west on 70 as well. Again, hit or miss shower or two. And then watch as we get later on through tonight, some of the higher elevations into the Mosquitoes as well as into the West Elks. We could see some very high elevation snow as well. Maybe a dusting, 10,000 feet or above. Most of us, A, don't deal with any snow. Hardly any of you are going to see any sort of snow. B, I would say 90% of us stay dry as we get into tomorrow as well. It's just going to be a hit or miss shower into the mountains, Idaho Springs. In fact, I would say even further west than that. I'd say kind of Breckenridge, Silverthorne on west, the best chance of seeing a shower or two tonight. Denver, some clouds, but we should stay dry to get a better chance to get into the foothills in western Jeffco and western Boulder County. Otherwise, we should stay on the dry side, and then some clouds mixing the way through our skies in eastern Colorado as we get through tonight and into early tomorrow. Now, speaking of tonight, we drop back into the upper 40s with an isolated shower around for us for this evening. Nothing too much to write home about, but again, better chance for a shower as you get west of town, Denver, and most of the urban corridor. We should stay dry. In fact, there's no real significant rain chances in the coming future. The forecast, we don't really have much of rain until maybe maybe late next week. But until then, we're going to stay on the dry side. There's that cold front that drops way out through. It's a cool down, but it will not last as we get a big ridge of high pressure that builds in right behind that front. So the showers move their way on through. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, we'll have clear skies throughout the urban corridor and really throughout the state, maybe a lingering batch of clouds or two in far eastern and southern Colorado. But again, 90% of us will wake up to not only dry weather, but we should be waking up to sunny skies and get into your Friday morning as well. Highs for your day tomorrow, a little cooler than today, probably about 6 to 7 degrees cooler than what we're talking about for your day today. 76 for us in Denver. That is right around where we should be for this time of year. 84 in Pueblo and 79 in Colorado Springs. So again, putting that into perspective, we go from a bit above average down to average in terms of those temperatures. So for tomorrow, again, dropping back to 76 degrees, mostly sunny, cooler, maybe a bit of a breeze, up to 15 miles an hour. Won't be as windy as what we saw back on Monday when we had that stronger front work its way through our region, but we do drop back into the mid 70s. Now, that 7-day forecast, a couple of highlights for you. First and foremost, that cool down, I mentioned this, it is not going to last. By Saturday into your Sunday, we're right back up again. In fact, by Sunday, we could be flirting with 90 degrees. The trend, and I can assure you every meteorologist in town has been driven nuts by this, is every high temperature seems to be going over. It's just been such a warm summer. And so right now it looks like we'll be in the upper 80s, but don't be too surprised if we do get up to 90 degrees. If we do get up to 90 degrees, this is very late in the year for us to be talking about temperatures this hot. In fact, the latest 90-degree temperature on record, October the 1st, and that was back in the 1800s. So Sunday, quick mental math, that is September the 26th. This would be our 6th latest 90-degree reading on record. If we get there, right now the current forecast, we stay just below it, but don't be surprised if we get up to 90 degrees or above this weekend, and most likely on Sunday, maybe Monday. But again, point being, this is very, very late in the year for us to be talking about temperatures this warm. Denver, we're going to be making a good run at one of our hottest Septembers on record. Right now, we're at the number 3 spot. I would imagine after this weekend, we'll be somewhere around number 1 or 2. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Then I mentioned the possibility mid to late week, we start getting some moisture into the picture. That'd be, again, Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere in here, we start to see some cooler weather filter its way into our region, and some of the computer models, and this is a real blessing here because we really need the rain. We're starting to get to the point where we really need the rain. Are starting to show some more significant moisture working its way into our picture for Wednesday and Thursday. So if you're hoping for some wetter, cooler weather, maybe your garden needs a good soaking, or you just want to break out that hoodie, that fall-like hoodie or that fall-like feel, yeah, we'll start to get that, looks like middle to end part of next week. But until then, it is going to be very warm with those temperatures getting close to record levels. In fact, our daily record for Sunday, it is 90 degrees. Don't be surprised if we get there. So thanks for joining us for a detailed look at your Colorado weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and have a great rest of your day.